Good morning, principal, teachers, and fellow students. This morning, I would like to share with you what I have learned recently. Do you know a Hong Kong PE teacher, Miss Ada Zheng Yinhong, successfully reached the summit of Mount Everest 7 days ago? Ada used to be a PE teacher at a secondary school in Hong Kong. In 2010, she promised her students to climb up to the summit of Mount Everest in a life lesson. She once told a reporter that she could share her experiences with her students by recollecting events from her past, but she wondered how she could best teach her students to pursue their future goals. She hoped that her students would learn to fulfill their dreams, no matter how hard it is. After reading her story, I found that it is actually her third attempt to climb Mount Everest. In 2014, she was forced to abandon her trek after an avalanche which killed 16 local mountain guides near the base camp. In 2015, she returned and encountered with another avalanche, which was triggered by a 7.9 magnitude earthquake. Now it's her third attempt, and she made it this time. She became the first Hong Kong woman to reach the top of the highest mountain on earth. While I was reading Ada's story, another detail caught my eye. I become more and more interested in learning about the lives of shepherds, which have been mentioned by Ada in her recent interviews. She describes shepherd as her oxygen. If you check Wikipedia, shepherd is a group of people who live in the Himalayas highlands. They help mountain climbers to reach the summit of Mount Everest and safely go back down. I started to ask myself questions like, how on earth would a group of people risk their own life to help others climb Mount Everest? Why do they choose to do something so dangerous at their jobs? Are they just a group of money-driven businessmen? Why did Ada say that people from outside world need to know more about this group of people and help them face unfairness and inequality in Nepal? Then I watched a BBC documentary about shepherd called Climbing Everest with a Mountain on My Back. I began to understand the difficulties these shepherds have to face. It is quite simple, actually. If they don't go, there's no money. But if they go, they could easily lose their life. Every shepherd knows what they are hired to do is a hard job, but they have to do it. What makes it even worse is that they are underpaid and poorly treated. A shepherd's job is to help mountaineers to climb up to the summit. Each shepherd is usually loaded with 20 to 40 kilograms of equipment from the base camp to Camp 4. Camp 4 is the closest campsite to the summit, which is located at about 8,000 meters above sea level. This means shepherds need to carry sleeping bags, tents, food, and all the other heavy equipment for their clients. Also, the more they carry, the more they get paid. Usually, they are paid between 4,000 to 5,000 US dollars. With this amount of money, a shepherd could feed his family for the entire year. In an interview, one shepherd told a reporter that his family was too poor to send him to school to receive education when he was young. It was difficult for him to find a job because he was not qualified to do other work. That's why he chose to go to mountain as a shepherd. He couldn't do anything else in his village. He needed the money. With the money he earned, he could send his children to study at a school. He wanted his children to be educated and have a better future. Therefore, even though he knew clearly about the danger of walking into the death zone, he still chose to work as a shepherd. This is the reason why many people in Nepal choose to work as shepherds. Because of this deadly working condition, In the village where most shepherds come from, many families have lost one or even more than one family members. According to the statistics, 1/3 of the people who died on the mountain were shepherds. After they died, their family members were left with nothing but grief for the rest of their lives. It is obviously unfair that, although what they are hired to do is dangerous, even 3 times more dangerous than being a soldier in the United States, they are paid with very little money. The money they get is about 1/10 of what the government and the mountaineering agencies make from foreign mountain climbers. For many years, shepherds have tried to make their voice heard and fight against the government and mountaineering industry in Nepal. However, nothing has changed for the shepherd over the years. I would like to share Ada's story with you because, first, I want to show you that no matter how hard it is, you can always achieve your goal if you don't give up. You might come across many challenges, but keep trying and overcome the difficulties one by one. Second, pay more attention to the things happening around you. You may learn a lot from them and better understand the world you are living in. Finally, before I end my sharing, I would like to invite you to put your right hand on your left shoulder or your left hand on right shoulder and say well done to yourself. You have finished another year of study. You have made it to this point. As you approach the end of the school year, I hope all of you will do well in your second term examination and have a happy summer holiday. Thank you.